Don't know what went wrong there just a while ago, but we are back. Invite the PNP delegates to come on. I wonder if something going wrong with the live tonight. Hello, everyone. Nobody at all? Well, that is sad. I'm going to just wait a little bit to see if anybody wants to come and join us. Let me just send back the invites. I am sending back the invites, inviting people to come on. Please share the live to the PNP delegates. And the PNP delegates, I don't know, just share it with them now. Let them come on, because and them we are talking to. Every Tuesday we come on, here's them we're really talking to. So share this with them, please. Let them come on. Share the live, share the live, share the live. Share the live with the PNP delegates them. Tell them we want to talk to them. Tell them it's them we are talk to. And we want them to come on. Come hear what we have to say. And get the PNP delegates them online for me, please. Hello, everybody. Good night, good night, good night, good night, Sonny. Liberates and what's called Lisa and a president after she don't present. What am I call her party leader? That is very interesting. Continue to share the live. If you don't know when the PNP delegates, just send it on to them. Tell them that we were and them we are talking to. And then let us start. Let us get going. It's kind of a chilly night in a way. So get the PNP delegates on and let us speak to them. Just wait a few more minutes until you're done. Share. I don't go nowhere. Just open the window to get some more air inside. I am not that rude a person. So, get the PNP delegates them and tell them we'll talk to them about lots of things we want to talk to them about tonight. So the Resistance Road team still on the road, still talking to PNP people all over the place. And I want to start tonight by telling you a few things that we picked up on the road. But before we get into that, I want to start off by reminding some PNP people about how PNP operate. PNP as a party, as a movement, as an organization, how we operate, and how we do things for the last 82 years. Since it's now 84 years and 2 years now, not doing right. So I want to remind you of some things. When Peter Phillips became General Secretary of the PNP, there was a contest that was going to happen between Peter Phillips and Mikey Peart. And Mikey Peart looks like he was going to beat Peter Phillips in that race. Peter Phillips himself has told the story, and he will tell you that that is the case. Marjorie Taylor, who was Michael Manley's right-hand woman from East Kingston, his councillor, constituency secretary, she was a senator, then she became MP of East Kingston, Port Royal. Marjorie Taylor was like Michael Manley's road woman, ground guard. So Michael, when somebody say Marjorie, them knows Michael send her come, and when them say Marjorie, them say Michael. Marjorie Taylor gathered a couple of us, a whole group of us, and said to us, we are going to support Mikey Peart for General Secretary. The whole party knew that Michael Manley wanted Peter Phillips. But Michael Manley wasn't the kind of leader who was going to go out a road and go up on the radio and announce him want Peter Phillips him General Secretary. That was not how PNP do things. PNP leaders do announce to the public that this is the person they want to be General Secretary, or this is the person they want to be party chairman, or anything. So Michael Manley wanted Peter Phillips, but he never announced it. He never go around and beat up him mouth, but if he not get Peter Phillips, go on and make up excuse and stuff. But we knew, we all knew. But Marjorie Taylor was leading the campaign not to elect Peter Phillips, but to elect Mikey Peart. And when we arrived at the NEC meeting in St. Catherine that Sunday morning, Marjorie Taylor and us was in a little huddle, counting the votes and getting ourselves ready to go elect Mikey Peart. Michael Manley arrived. And when Michael arrived, everybody get up and clap and cheer and Michael come. But Michael didn't go on the platform. Michael came over to where we were. When they shared the live to the PNP delegates. And if you know one delegate, share it to them. Michael came over to where we were. And Michael touched Marjorie on her shoulder and said, "Can I talk to you a minute?" And Michael and Marjorie went behind the stage, behind the curtain. I think it was St. Catherine High School, if I'm not mistaken. I think it was St. Catherine High School. Because he used to love go up there, so it could be worse. Anyway, Michael and Marjorie went behind the screen, and they spent a good couple of minutes around there. And then Marjorie came back. And when Marjorie came back to us, Marjorie said, "We're going to support Peter Phillips." Just like that. Marjorie came back and said, "We're going to support Peter Phillips." Because Michael, a party leader, talked to her and said, "We will support Peter Phillips." That Michael never said, "Wow, Peter Phillips. We will support Peter Phillips." I never tell we that, I'm going to tell Marjorie. And Marjorie come back and tell we. And so Peter Phillips became General Secretary by acclamation. The entire NEC cheered and big up and glad that Peter Phillips was General Secretary of the People's National Party. When it was time when Michael went up at the end of the NEC to give his speech, Michael gave this big speech as all party leader does at the in the NEC. And in his speech, Michael spent a good portion of that speech bigging up Mikey Peart, talking about all that Mikey Peart has done, how valuable Mikey Peart is to the organization. Big up Mikey Peart father, the late Ernest Peart. Big up Mikey Peart brother, Deanie Peart. And when Michael done big up all the Pearts and put us at ease and make everybody know that Mikey Peart is going to be an integral part of this, even though it's Peter Phillips is the General Secretary. When Michael finished, Michael invent some position of something and put Mikey Peart in charge of it. Because Michael was very famous for that. You criticize him. If you criticize him for not having bottled water, him create a committee of bottled water and put you in charge of it. So that's how Michael used to operate. And that's why the party was unified. The party was unified because we had a leader who recognized that everybody not going to get what they want, but we all have to work together to get what we want. And so Michael big up Mikey Peart, and Peter Phillips in his acceptance as General Secretary, in his speech, big up Mikey Peart. Not only big up Mikey Peart, he brought Mikey Peart up on the stage as a show of unity between him and Mikey Peart. And it wasn't a fake unity. It wasn't a fake it until we make it kind of thing. It was real, genuine PNP people, two genuine PNP man, pledging to work together to make this party a better organization. And that was what happened at that. Why do I bring up this story? Why do I feel that I need to tell you this story? I need to tell you this story because this party, under the leadership of Mark Golding, that you delegates, elected to be party leader, don't understand until now how important it is to unify the party. But it's not a matter of just unifying the party. It's a matter of showing that unity and make people believe in that unity and understand that this is the People's National Party and we all need each other to make it the party that we want it to be. So Michael made sure we know that. PJ made sure we know that after PJ become leader, or him big up Portia, or him bring up Portia, or him include Portia and everything, or him big up Portia supporters, PJ made a big deal out of doing that to unify the party. But this leader, Mark Jefferson Golding, don't feel like him need to do that. Him not think him need to do that. Him think him need to just keep the people them who supported him and forget the other people them who did not support him. So no unity for the party there, so. So that's one story. The second story I want to tell you is, this party is not immune to scandal. Not immune to scandal. I'm going to tell you these little things before I get into all that, the information that we picked up on the ground about how them sabotage the elections. We'll soon get into that. But I want to tell you this because people asking me about stuff on the road, and each time somebody asks me about stuff, I feel I need to answer some stuff and to deal with some stuff and make PNP people understand some stuff. When there was a thing called the Shell scandal, the Shell waiver scandal, and the Shell waiver scandal, PJ had to resign. And PJ resigned. PJ, the same time PJ made that thing about I shall return, that was it. PJ resigned when the Shell waiver scandal came up. And PJ went, and a couple months later, or maybe a year later, I don't know how long, I don't remember how long it was, PJ became party leader. But PJ did what he had to do to ensure the integrity and the public image of the People's National Party. He resigned, left his ministry, continue to be party chairman, continue to work as member of parliament. He resigned in the interest of the People's National Party. That's what PJ did. Many of you have heard, but don't know much. Some does, some don't, about the visa scandal. So I am not a stranger to controversy in the People's National Party. And the People's National Party is not a stranger to controversy either. The party have had many controversy. The difference between now and then is how we reacted, how the party reacted to those controversies. What the party did, what the actions the party took in those controversies. So here we are. The visa scandal. What happened with the visa scandal? We're not going to what happened. Just want to tell you, we're doing the PJ story, we're doing the Mikey Page story. I'm just doing some stories so you can understand what I'm talking about. When we get into the meat of the matter. Visa scandal. The day that story hit the newspaper and the news, the day the visa scandal hit the news and the newspaper, that very day, the chairman of the People's National Party, Robert Pickersgill, called me. He said, "Where are you?" I said, "I'm at the YO office." He said, "Stay right there." And he came to party headquarters. And when he came to party headquarters, he called me. And I went down and we were in the party leader's office. Me and him and my MP Nicholson. And him said, "We're waiting for somebody else, but we're not going to wait. We're going to handle this. And this is how we're going to handle this. We're going to have to deal with it. And we're going to tell you so I'm there." We never did it for more than 5 minutes because something happened and Bobby had to leave and AJ had to leave. And Bobby said he's going to call me later on. He called me later in the night and he said, "Come to me yard, come to my house for breakfast tomorrow morning. Make we discuss this matter because we have to put this matter to an end quickly in the interest of the party. This is the party chairman and this is me who is in problem with the party and the public." And I said, "Okay." The morning for the breakfast meeting to go up to Bobby Pickersgill house, Paul Burke came to my house and picked me up. And picked me up and we went up, we drove up to Bobby Pickersgill house. When we went up there was Bobby, there was the late Seringa Marshall Burnett, former senator, head of the Jamaican Nurses Association at one time, and she was there as part of the disciplinary committee of the party. So she was there, Bobby was there, me, Paul Burke, and then AJ, my member of parliament, came afterwards. A very, not a heated but pretty long meeting. You know, we had toast and tea and all of that. And most of the talking that was going on, I didn't talk. I just sat there I just sat there and wait for them to talk and tell me what they want me to do. Because this is the party, and whatever decisions will be taken in the interest of the People's National Party, not in my interest. So they all talked, and they all decided that I must resign, and we're going to do it in a particular way. That same day, we all turned up at party headquarters, and the party chairman stood right outside of that entrance there, at the entrance to go up that landing there. He stood there, and I stood beside him, and he announced to the media and to the country that I will be resigning, and the party will be dealing with the matter internally, and that was the end of that. Nothing more. That was the end of that. I got my yard, and the party moved on, and the party left good. Afterwards, my party leader took care of me. Went to the executive, and they did what they were supposed to do, and I was suspended, and the suspension was retroactive. So I really wasn't suspended. Suspended and retroactive, so I really didn't get leave. But in any case, I took a back seat. Months after that, I was at Sovereign Center, and I buck up in General Secretary Maxine Henry Wilson. And Maxine Henry Wilson, she hugged me so tight, I thought she was going to stifle me. So, and so she glad to see me, and she looking for me, and I must come down to the party because she wanted to see me. And she saw me, and I went down there, and she gave me back something to do, and she brought me back in, and that was the end of that. After the Shell waiver scandal, PJ resigned, and he came back and be party leader. After the visa scandal, I went home, and the party general secretary brought me back, gave me work to do, and I came back. I was on NEC, and it has been great and good. I think there was a point to when Horace Clark, I believe, had to leave the government for something. Don't know what happened. Don't remember the story, so I don't want to tell it. And then he left. Why am I bringing up all of this to you? I'm bringing up all of this to you because last Friday, I was in Kingston. I roamed the streets of Kingston last Friday in the rain, mostly. I was in central Kingston, and afterwards I went to West Rural St. Andrew to talk to PNP people, because they have been calling for me to come and check them at those end, particularly West Rural. And while in central Kingston, there's some comrades that talk, and we'll reach that part where we talk about the things that have happened and how we handle things and so on and so forth. So I want to make it clear to the PNP delegates tonight, because in spite of how much publicity this has gotten, many of you still don't know. And I want to bring it up. This has never been about me. What I do, the live is not about me. I try to stay away from that. And I don't want to talk about that really, because I don't want that to be about me. I don't want the life. I don't want what we do. I don't want the resistance to be about me. It's not about me at all. But let me just back up very quickly. I promise I'm not going to stay long on it. March 7th, 2021. March 7th, 2021. I wrote a letter to John Jr. in which I told him some things about the General Secretary, Dayton Campbell. And when I told him those things, it's a one-page letter. A one-page letter. It was a private letter. A very, very private letter. Only him alone I sent the letter to. That letter was not released until after I went to the disciplinary committee in June. So long that letter was private. Nobody saw that letter. Nobody heard of that letter because it was a private letter. In the PNP that I know, the PNP that I grew up in, the PNP that I have been, I held so much position in the PNP YO, NEC executive member, constituency secretary, you name it, divisional chairman, I have been it all in this PNP. And I sent the letter to John Jr. Now let me just back up a little bit, and I want to tag the PNP delegates and bring them in. I want you to know something, and I want to tell you this because I've never said it before, and I think it's important for me to say this to you all. Me a PNP, and under absolutely no circumstances would I, Karen Cecilia Cross, get up and accuse the PNP General Secretary of any wrongdoing unless it is true. I would do no such thing, because the PNP General Secretary, as much as he's a scoundrel, is still the PNP General Secretary. And me a PNP, me act first in the interest of the party, which is why I sent that private letter to John Jr. So John Jr. have that private letter. The PNP that I grew up in, the PNP that I know, would have handled it this way. Kind of like how they handle the visa thing. The PNP that I know would have gotten that letter. And John Jr. would have informed the party chairman that he got the letter. He would have informed the party legal advisor that he got the letter. He would have informed the chairman of the Internal Affairs Commission that he got the letter. He wouldn't necessarily tell the party leader and get the letter. That's the PNP that I know about. And John Jr. and the chairman of the Internal Affairs and the party legal advisor and the party chairman would have met. That's a PNP I know. When I sent that letter, that is what I expect to happen. That those people are going to meet. And when they meet, they're all going to come to a conclusion about the letter I sent. And that conclusion would be, I'm just telling you what I expect. I'm just telling you what the PNP is like, and why I am a member of the People's National Party, and why these people who said that I brought the party into public disrepute are the ones who brought the party into public disrepute, particularly Angela Brownberg. I get into that. As I said, I'm not going into the details of the thing and doing all of that. John Jr. would have gotten the letter. He would have spoken to some people about the letter. The chairman of the Internal Affairs Commission, the party chairman, the legal advisor, and they would have all sat down and they would have looked on the letter. I'm going to tag the PNP delegate because them see me all downtown in East Queen Street. And I asked me about it. And I tell me what them think and what they know, because them don't know everything. So I feel an obligation to let them know. So the PNP people them see me and ask about it. So John Jr. have the letter. Him have the letter. Him need to show the letter to the legal advisor and the party chairman and the chairman of the Internal Affairs Commission. What should have happened? Now listen to me. What should have happened there and then is all of them should sit down together and they should say, okay, let's call in Karen Cross. Tell her to come in, and after she come in, tell her, when we call her and tell her to come in, take up the phone and call me. Karen, we need to meet with you. You write this letter about General Secretary. This is not a nice letter. We need to meet with you. Come in and bring the evidence with you. That's what I expected for them to say. They must want to say, Karen, we get this letter. It's a very serious letter. You accuse the General Secretary of the People's National Party of being a pedophile. You need to come in, come talk to me, and when you come, bring the evidence. You know what would have happened then? When they tell me that? What would have happened is, I would have gone to them with the evidence. I would have sat down with them. I would have given them the evidence. The evidence would have followed me in tow. I would have gone there. And I would have give it to them. And they would have said, okay, we have it now. We're going to deal with it internally. You can leave this to us now. You know what I would have done? I would have left it to them. Because that's how PNP operate. But no, that didn't happen. Angela Brownberg, who figured that she have me pegged, who figured that she have a control over this. So she decided that she go do a different thing. And they all listened to her. Angela Brownberg said to them, say, a lie she tell. She not tell the truth. It's propaganda. We not listen to her. We not call her. We are not with her. That's what Angela Brownberg did. That's what she said to them. And they decided that they might go that route. So once Angela Brownberg said that to them, everything become about me and about Dayton Campbell. Now I'm not going into all of the fuzzy details. I just want to say to you, the PNP delegates and the PNP people watching and listening tonight, that is not how PNP operate. It's them bring the party into public disrepute by refusing to deal with the matter internally. They, Angela Brownberg, convinced them That is lie, me I tell. So make us back up a little bit and let's assume say lie, me I tell. Lie, me I tell. Let's assume say them know say lie, me I tell, even though they know say true, me I tell. Because Angela Brownberg is the single person that I told when I buck up on that thing in 2016. I told her. And when I told her, she said, she can't deal with that right now. She have her election for the week. Because we don't run the vice presidential election time. So she never want to deal with that. So she knew. Angela Brownberg knew. Maybe the other rest of them can pretend. The other rest of them can pretend so them never know or them never hear. Not she. She can't pretend so she never know. She can't pretend so she never hear. One of the PNP delegates on my life because I don't want them to see me again and ask me nothing about it because I not talk about it again. Me done, me not talk about it. So Angela Brownberg knew. And not even for 10 seconds did they look at that letter and consider to themselves, say, all right, let's say a lie, me I tell. Then the only way to destroy me, since no son will destroy Karen Cross, would be, the only way would be, tell Karen Cross for come into it, we want to talk to her and tell her for bring the evidence. Wouldn't that be the best way to destroy Karen Cross? Because if a lie she tell, she can't come with no evidence. And at that point, you can just quietly dispose of it. And say, Karen, you're telling lie. Because you can't bring no evidence. But instead of asking me to bring the evidence, because you know I'm telling the truth, you didn't ask me to come and bring the evidence. So, after 11 days, I wrote the next letter. And the whole thing went public. And that is that. So to get that PNP delegates, I wrote a private letter to them. I did. A 1-page letter. And I sent it to John Jr. And John Jr. and I spoke on the phone for nearly a half an hour about the matter. And I thought that him going to go call up the rest of man them and the rest of woman them who's supposed to call up. And they going to have a meeting. And they going to call me and say, yo, come, bring the evidence, come. Because at that time, the public knew nothing. And my intention was pretty clear. My intention was, I don't want the public to know nothing. That was not my intention for it to be this big thing. My intention was for them to get it, to call me in, to deal with it, and at that time, dispose of it. Deal with it and dispose of it. But no, they never thought for a second about the People's National Party. Not for a minute did they think about how this will look on the party. Their first and foremost thought was to defend Dayton Campbell, not the People's National Party. And that is the crux of the matter, as I told the comments, I'm telling you now. You get a letter like that. You alone have it. John public don't know about it yet. Your responsibility as leaders is to look into it privately. Call the person who sent the letter. Say to the person, listen, come, we want to talk to you. And when you come, bring the evidence with you. That's all they had to do. But they didn't do that. Instead, they went about to put the party into this big public excitement. And they did that in the interest of themselves. Angela Brownberg pushed that narrative and convinced them to do the things that they did, not listening to the letter, not taking it serious, not wanting to see the evidence. Angela Brownberg led them in that process because she has to protect Dayton Campbell because Dayton Campbell protects her. And they have to protect them power and they have to protect them position because to bring me in and ask me to bring the evidence is going to turn over the whole apple cart because they all know that this is what he does. So I'm not repeating anything about all that. I'm just saying that you need to know that that was what happened. So everything that went on after that was their doing. They didn't want to talk privately. And many people within the party approached them and said, listen, make we work this thing out. People call me and say, Karen, we're going to talk to them, you know. What you think? You're not vexed if we talk to them. I said, no, man. We're going to talk to them, man. If you want them, people call me. People come to my ice cream shop. People come to my yard. I said, Karen, this thing can't continue to look good for the party. I said, I agree. But every move they made, every decision they took, was in the interest of themselves and in the interest of keeping Dayton Campbell, not the interest of the PNP. Because them couldn't do me, no matter what them do or what them think they have done, they couldn't really do anything to me. They couldn't. Even them expulsion couldn't do. I don't know what them thought that would have achieved, but that never achieved nothing either. But I want you to know that the duty and responsibility of the leaders of the People's National Party, first and foremost, is to protect the integrity and the public image of the People's National Party. You're not there to protect John Tom. You're not there to protect the leader. You're not there to protect the General Secretary or the Vice President. You are there as the leaders of the People's National Party to first and foremost protect the interests of the People's National Party. And what could possibly be in the interest of the party of you ignoring that letter and make this thing blow up into what it has blown up to, and make PNP delegates and PNP people feel like it's me bringing the party into disrepute? When is Uno, Angela Brownberg was leading that process. She and Peter Murcutt Bunting, the two of them, and a Luna Samba joined them, writing letters and telling people to sign letter in support of the General Secretary, when all they should have been doing is protect the People's National Party. Protect the party. No matter what me do, no matter what me say, the job is to protect the People's National Party. Guard its image. Guard its integrity. Your job is to protect that. Nothing else. But Angela Brownberg and Peter Bunting and Luna Samba wasn't thinking about that. And Luna was thinking about finally she read so much in the officer corps. Angela Brownberg was thinking about Dayton Campbell, our prize bull, Mark Golding and Peter Bunting prize bull. It's him who never protect the party and make PNP people out there believe that me bring the party into disrepute. That wasn't me. That was Uno. I'm not throw blame. But always own up to anything me do and say. Everybody know that me own up to anything me do and say. Me not back from nothing me do and say. But I'm saying, Uno had one responsibility. And that responsibility was to protect the integrity and the public image of the People's National Party. Visa scandal boss. The party chairman called me. We have breakfast in yard. And they make a decision as to how this thing is going to go. I agree with the decision. We have partly I spoke to the news media. Me got me yard. The party image is protected. The party's integrity is protected. That is how it go. Shell waiver scandal. PJ resigned. He never had to. PJ resigned. Got him yard to protect the image of the People's National Party and the government of the day. That is how PNP thing work. But Angela Brownberg, for some strange reason, all of them, because Angela Brownberg is not that bright, with all that fool doctorate from this fool college that nobody know about. No, but Angela Brownberg told them, because she thinks she have my ticket. She told them that is lie. She told them that she protect herself. Her first instinct was to protect herself because I told her in 2016 that we heard some things and went down there to talk to delegates on her behalf. So I told her in 2016. So her first instinct was to protect herself, which is why she decided to lead this process of protecting Dayton Campbell. But it was really Dayton Campbell she protected. She was protecting herself. She was protecting herself because I told her in the presence of two other persons, one of whom have betrayed me, but the next one will stand up and say, yes, but the dead should tell you. And she dismissed it. You know what she did that night when I told her? I said to her, by the way, what are these things about Dayton Campbell down there? Because we down at Brownstown tonight. And the next day we came up back and I said, boy, what are these things about Dayton Campbell? And she look up at me. And then she'll do that hypocritical laugh. You know that laugh she does when she's about to lie? That's the laugh she does. Oh, hell? I said, well, have you heard these things? Yeah, I've heard some things, but I can't deal with that right now. I'm dealing with my campaign. I'm not messing with nobody. I'm not involved with nothing. You know that thing that she does. You know? And she didn't pay no mind. She didn't pay no attention. She dismissed it. She dismissed it because she wanted to protect herself. So when this thing came to them, she took the lead. She took the lead. to bring the People's National Party into public disrepute, to protect herself and to protect Dayton Campbell, them prize bowl. They bring the party in disrepute when everybody should have done the correct thing. And the correct thing would have been, you don't want to get rid of me? Seriously, you don't want to embarrass me? You don't want to get rid of me? You think nothing what to do to embarrass me and can't get rid of me out of PNP? Nothing. But you know the one thing, you missed the grand opportunity. You could have, you couldn't. You couldn't because I would have come there with my evidence behind me. But you could have at least tried that. Think about the party. You get the letter, you think about the first thing again, look at the letter. Oh my God, this is not good. This don't look good on the party. Ladies and gentlemen, comrades, we need to deal with this right now. Let us just keep it under quiet. Nobody should speak to the party leader yet. Let us sort this out quietly. The first person that called me when the visa scandal broke, it wasn't Bobby Pickersgill. The first person that called me was Vin Lawrence and asked me to come down to his office. And 3 of us or 4 of us went down there and him outlined it to us. What is what and what we must do and the next step. Because everybody working in tandem to protect the interest, the image, and the integrity of the People's National Party. And we were all on board with that. Me's a patriot, you know. I'm a patriot. I will always take one for the team. Me's a patriot, me a PNP. And PNP comes first. But they did not consider the party. Not for an instant did they think to themselves, my God, this is not good. How are we going to handle this so that the party will come out not looking bad? Not even for a minute did they think. Their first action, their first thought was to protect themselves. Angela had to protect herself because I told her from 2016. So she knew, and she knew more than that too. But me, I can always talk without betraying any confidences. Right? So I'm not betraying any confidences. Angela knew. The whole of them knew. But let's just say for argument's sake, none of them don't know. Let us assume tonight, say, when I sent the letter, none of them did not know. What should have been their action that they're not knowing? Wouldn't you think PNP delegates, PNP delegates, will sell out on a vote to Mark Golding and Angela Bromberg and Peter Bunting? What think should have been done? I want you to tell me. What thing should have been done? Because knows Angela not that bright, you know. She's always thinking about Angela, and that's what makes her dance. Because she never ever think that there is something else that is bigger than her. Angela don't think that there's anything that is above her or her ambitions. She don't think that the party should come first, or the region should come first, or the constituency should come first, or anybody else should come first. She always thinking about Angela. That's the only person she think about. And they sat there with that letter for 11 days. Telling people that is liar telling, and then of a payment of mine, and they must ignore me. And then now, when I do the second letter, and it reach a public sphere, and all hell broke loose, them had no choice now but to continue fighting that narrative. But I'm going to tell you something again tonight, and then I'm going to come off of that. Throughout the whole saga, there were instances when I share it to the PNP people, then please. Some PNP people asked me about to share it with them. Throughout the whole thing, there was, throughout the whole saga, there were individual persons from Region 6, Region 5, Region 3, Region 2, who have reached out to them. People come to me, them say, Karen, this thing don't look good. I say, I agree. And I won't call nobody name unless it is necessary. I said, I agree. I agree that it don't look good. And I said, boy, one person called my ice cream shop one Sunday night and said to me, say, Karen, hear me. I'm going to go talk to the man them. I'm going to talk to the man them. I'm going to tell them, say, you want it to come to an end for the interest of the party and stuff. And all I said to him was, good luck with that. Him said, why? You don't want me to talk to them? I said, no, absolutely. Go talk. Talk. You know what the man them tell them? They're not talking with me. Them done. They're not talking with me. They're going to destroy me. They're not talking with me. They're going to destroy me. When people tell them, make we end it in the interest of the party, they were not interested in that. Because ending it in the interest of the party mean that they have to run on them prize ball. Because the ending of the conversation could only end with me coming in with the evidence. That's the only way it could end. Them say, all right, we cause a ceasefire. Them ceasefire, me ceasefire. We meet somewhere and drop in the evidence, and that's the end of that. That's the end of that. But no, them don't want to meet. But I want to call up Paul Burke tonight. I'm going to call up him name because him, Paul Burke, was one of those persons that somebody who used to be part of the clique of us when we are following behind him, went to him, called him, reached out to him. You know what him said? Him said too late for that. Oh, you hear me, a PNP delegate? Him say too late for that. Now, I would like to ask Uno, how can it be too late for anything when you want to resolve a matter in the best interest of the party? Tell me, how can it be too late to try to resolve a matter for the best interest of the People's National Party? It cannot be too late. No time is too late. Because the party was feeling it publicly. The public was eating it up. And the party was going further down and down and down. And I was not happy about it. I was not happy about it. But what could I do? I had to defend myself. It was the whole of the big trousers man them with a whole heap of money against little poor ass me. The only thing I have on them is that I'm good looking. That's the only thing I have on them, you know. I am good. Well, I have two things on them. I'm good looking and I'm smart on them. All of them together couldn't outsmart me. But that's the only thing I have. I never have anything else. I have the truth and I have my integrity on my side. Them I defend themselves. I'm not defend the party. Me always I defend PNP. So I put this to you again because some of you word here. Let me put this to you again. I want to hear me loud and clear. Me a PNP. I grew up in a PNP. My mother worked for David Core. My mother worked for Carl Thompson. My mother worked for Adrian Nicholson. My mother worked for David Walker. Me a PNP. Under no circumstances would I, Karen Cross, get up and call the General Secretary of the PNP a serial pedophile unless I know it's true. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't do that to no General Secretary, not even to him, even though he's a scoundrel. If it wasn't true, I wouldn't do it. I would not have done that. Me a PNP. Why would I do that? I have no axe to grind. Me don't know the man. Me I'm no friend. He never do nothing to me yet. And be sure me never do nothing to him yet. The closest me and him ever come was one meeting at the Rise campaign in 29. One meeting one night. And the night before the vote down a arena. That's the only time he and I have ever exchanged words. Me always see him at conferences by the platform, loading up his mouth and going on like a big dirty girl. So me never fancy him. But me have nothing against him. Then why would I get up and tell a blatant, outright lie on the General Secretary of the People's National Party? The General Secretary of the People's National Party. Why would I do that? And the only way that the thing could have put to an end is for them to look at that one-page letter and call Karen Cross. Took up the phone and said, Karen, this is a serious matter. You're accusing the General Secretary of come to us and bring the evidence when you are come. Nobody would have heard a single thing about that. Thing let us end. Well, it's done. Nobody would hear zip about it. That would have been the end of that. Because I would have gone. And whatever decision they made, they would have made that time, I would have lived with it. I wouldn't care how that make me look. But whatever decision they would have made at that time, I would have lived with it. I would have been cool with it. But no, man. Angela Brownberg was protecting herself and protecting Dayton Campbell and thus put the party into public disrepute. And so I want the delegates and the PNP people to know I did no such thing. I did everything in my power to put the thing to an end. When Philip Powell was the chairman, and I spoke to Philip Powell at least 4 times, and I said to Comrade Powell, sort out can a conversation be had? Can we put this thing to an end? Because there's a way to put it to an end. And every time Powell comes back to me, he comes back with a dread and a fear. Boy, him do understand. The man them is adamant. Him adamant. And I would say to him, don't say the man them, man. Angela Brownberg and the man them. Because she was the one who was pushing it. She, Angela Brown Burke, was the one who was manipulating it, who was in charge of everything to do with that. She, Bunting, and then Asamba. Asamba, another woman. And Angela Brown Burke is a woman. And Asamba is another woman. And both of them together never thought for an instant about any young girl in this country, and they never thought for an instant about how it looks at the People's National Party. They were protecting their power and their positions. They weren't protecting anything else. And Mark Golding and Peter Bunting, Prize Bull, and them people that them are protect, not the People's National Party. Them don't love the PNP. Angela Brown Burke and Dayton Chamberlain, them don't love the PNP. Them love what the PNP can do for them. But because of the PNP, him is general secretary and him sit on the EAC, and because of the PNP, she's constituent, she's an MP, and she's member of parliament, and she is chairman of the People's National Party. Because if they would have them way, when they send out big letter, invite people come volunteer for them Rise United movement, for throw out the PNP, if they would have them way, if them couldn't get it going, it's because they couldn't get it going. But they like what the PNP do for them. You know, leader of the opposition, the office of the leader of the opposition. Oh, no, Rise United couldn't get that for them. That is all PNP. But them don't love PNP. And them don't love PNP people. They couldn't care two hoots of a damn about the PNP. If they did, they would not have taken the decisions that they took. So that brings us now back to the 2020 elections. I brought that up. I wanted to give you a rundown. I'm not going into the details of that. We're done with that now. But I'm going to show you now how that ties into the 2020 elections and what they did. Remember now that they were already setting the narrative for the voting population that Peter Phillips can win. Remember that. They were already setting that narrative was seeped into the psyche of the voting public that Peter Phillips can win and PNP can win and Peter Phillips will lose. They were doing that from 2019. So by the time the elections came around, they just ramp it up. So here I was now, down in Central Kingston on Friday morning. I was in Central Kingston for about 9:30 Friday morning. Stopping and talking to people and itching up that place and doing all kind of things, and rain come and wet me. I stop on a mango tree with people I talk to. And I have to tell you, comrades, I want you to hear me good. This is heart-rending for me. This is most heart-rending for me. What they did to Imani Duncan in Central Kingston. It's heart-rending. Remember in the second live, I spoke about Lawrence Rowe. How he boasted that he never voted PNP. Well, he boasted that I voted, but I didn't vote for Imani. I voted, yes I voted, like a big dirty girl. I voted, but I didn't vote for Imani. I didn't support Imani. Comrades, it went further than that. It went much further than that. Him and him crew, and that include one down there named Ribba and some other little tiki. Telling PNP people, telling the PNP runners, and the same thing that happened in Central Kingston, happening in West Rural St. Andrew, telling the PNP runners them, that them no need for go for them. Remember see a list? We no need for go for them people, man. Them people are PNP, them people are go vote for them own. No need for go for them. No, man, them people are PNP, man. We are drink to the PNP runner. We have the list. I take the list from him and I ask him where my drink. And I tell him, say, them are people are PNP people. Them don't need no list. Them need nobody to go for them, for vote. I spoke to a young lady in Central Kingston. She's 38 years old. And she told me that she had PNP through and through. And she never intended to go vote. She never intended to go vote at all. She never liked the foolishness we are going. No, the foolishness that was going, she never liked it. You know, some people felt that the whole of some people around Imani was betraying Imani and undermining Imani and walk up and down behind her for whatever them can get, but telling people say PNP now win. Now walk up and down behind the PNP candidate and tell PNP people say PNP can win. And I stop the damn runners them, who are runners all them life. And a runner tell me this. Stop the runner, look on him paper and tell him say, them people don't need nobody. No man, them people PNP, them go out vote man, where I drink. Them people we go out vote man, them people you don't need for one run tell me say they even get back him list. I cry shame on him, I cuss him ag rotten. Never, I did not buy him that beer that he wanted at all. I was too upset with him. I couldn't buy him that beer. I tell him I can't bring myself to buy the beer. Tell him that PNP money me I use to buy the beer. I give him. Of course it's not PNP money, but I tell him that PNP people from foreign send money come give me for go drive around and talk to them. I mean I use their money buy him the beer. Because him take him list and give it to them man. Lawrence, Ruan, Dribba and him crew them. All of them in them rise shirt and them rise gear. They talk about Imani can't win nothing. One set I say Imani can't win nothing. The other set say a PNP seat. Nobody don't need to bring out nobody. People come out, come vote. And this young lady was telling me, I tell you about the young lady. She said she never intended to vote. Just too much things going on, too much back here, too much. I feel her, believe me, I feel her. What you tell me, say, let me tell you something, you see, Miss Karen. Come hear about you, but me don't know you. I'm glad me meet you. But let me tell you something, you see. Too much things that go on. You hear one thing and then you hear another thing and you hear 300 other things. Too much things that go on. Nobody want to go or vote because too much things that go on. Of course, me going to ask the natural question. Like what, sir? Well, some people around the money, I don't know because I don't know people around the money and them come and them say people must go vote and next day see them and say a PNP seat there's some upper people. So she actually thought that she don't need to go vote. Because that was one of the arguments she heard. Until her grandmother, who's 80 years old in her wheelchair, she said she'll wash and she'll cook and she'll do all kind of things. And the grandmother keep wheeling the chair around and ask her, I look at her and ask her if she's not going to vote yet. And in deference and respect to her grandmother, she went and cast that vote for Imani. And she's glad that she did. But how could anybody believe that Imani going to win because of PNP seat? And yet you tell the runner them say, the list we have, him no need for go for them people. Because them the people, they are PNP people. Them people always come out to vote. Not one of them came out. Because he never go for them, stamp a drink, beer or rum or whatever it is that he make them buy. Sabotage the PNP elections. Them sabotage the PNP elections. Them give them people, them rice people, make sure them have enough money for a walk around. Let me jump straight to West Rural. Let me just jump straight to West Rural. Because West Rural is a place that I intended to go until probably next weekend. That I want to go to West Rural. But one lady up there own a bar. Wanna call up the PNP delegates, wanna have the PNP delegates on the live? I can't say a thing, so I don't know if I have them on the live. Make sure the PNP delegates them, because I them vote for them people here. Make sure them there. Because the reward for not voting for PNP is that the leader will reward you and put you on executive and put you on NEC. Because that's what they did. They rewarded all of them. All of the Ribbers and all of the Lawrence Rose. All of them get rewarded. Them get elevated to position after they admitted and tell people that them did not vote for the PNP candidate. At all. And them get rewarded for it. So then, let us just segue up to West Rural. There's this lady that own a bar in the Lawrence Tavern. I call her bar name. She begged me not to call her bar name. She never begged me, I would not. Unless I promote in her bar at some other time. And here she was. She called me. So she watched me live. I hope you're on the live now. And I want to be kind of cautious. Oh, I say this because believe me when I tell you, no, that some heads are going to roll for this. Me, Karen Cecilia Cross, nah, make PNP people forget this. Me gonna make sure PNP know so don't know uno do this. Me gonna make sure the PNP delegates and PNP people know say uno did it. People that don't come from West Rural, risers that don't live in West Rural, them don't even live next door to West Rural. Bunting and him crew did already start spread the narrative on Crystal when Crystal decided to support Peter Phillips. Their narrative and their argument were a Bunting bring Crystal into PNP, a Bunting help her, a Bunting bring her and mold her and cool, and she promised Bunting that she was going to support him. So what? So what? If she promised him that she's going to support him and change her mind because she realized him is evil. She realized him is the devil reincarnate. She realized him as Satan. She realized him as labor right, him on a PNP. And she decides that she not about to support him. So what? And them started that argument. They started that argument long time. As I said, I can do this without betraying confidence. But I remember two things the other day. It's amazing the things you remember. I remember when Ribba first ran for councillor. I mean, I know who was the opponent. I don't know if it was Jennifer Newman. But I remember Mark Golding standing up down our Raytown. Stand up one side and observe everything with the money in her pocket. I give Ribba little. Money in her pocket, I give Ribba little. Because he want to make sure that Ribba going to be the candidate. And I remember I walked over to where they were. And I said, so how this look? Because it was a candidate selection. And Mark Golding, that person, Ribba is the best candidate. That person can't represent the PNP. That person don't know what they're doing. I don't remember who the candidate was, who the person was rubbing against Ribba for the candidacy. And Mark Golding stand up there with him money, supporting Ribba. So that's one thing I remember. I don't even know why I remember that. The second thing I remember, I was at a meeting someplace. Not going to say where. That's the first time I saw Crystal. She was invited to this meeting to speak as the newly elected YO chairman. And there were some people around me saying that me say, so she the new YO leader now? Because I didn't know that. And them say, yes, I she the new leader. I said, really? So how come me never see another YO group and I don't know her from where? And when she become the new YO leader? And the person said, a Bunting bring her in, man. A Bunting bring her in, you know. And I been listen to her. Bright young woman. But the person was saying, a Bunting bring her in. So I understand the narrative of that. So I understand that a little bit away now. So them vexed that Crystal did not support Bunting. And she got support Peter Phillips. And they decided that them going to get even. And them send people who not live in a West Rural. People who don't even live next door to West Rural. Over West Rural and hang out at jerk place and bar and restaurants and edge of town and them rice clothes. That half of people drink when people should have go vote. And I tell people that Crystal can't beat Juliet Cuthbert. That's what the young lady called me to tell me. Because our bar did full that day. When them in there, them say PNP people are going somewhere. What? You voted yet? You have time, man. I'm drink something now. And have people in them bar a drink until time pass to vote. Who's a wicked and vicious and dangerous set of people. And we're going to pay for it. Mark Golding and Peter Bunting and crew. And I know the people who are up in West Rural. And the only reason why I'm not calling out them names is because I'm not mixing up those who never elevate and the nothing. Who just operate that day because they get her money for do it. But me I call out is bosses. The people who was in charge of doing that. And that West Rural thing, yeah man, Mr. Dayton Campbell himself was in charge of that West Rural thing. You send people from all over the damn place and tell them, say, to go hang out and buy liquor for people so that people don't get for Crystal. And you believe that having done that, you really believe you were going to win Northwest St. Anne after you do all of that? You really believe that that argument when I sent out against Imani and Crystal was an argument that would not reach back Northwest St. Anne and Central Manchester and Eastern Westmoreland where Luther Buchanan lose PGC? Uno think say them argument they would not reach back them places and would come back to Uno and knock Uno over? How can Uno even think that? I want to say Uno bright. You said well I'm an idiot. Uno sabotage Crystal. All because she had promised Bunting to support him and change her mind. As if people are entitled to change their mind. Me change my mind from Uno. When me hear on a WhatsApp group talk about PNP people not for vote. Everybody must wear them rise this and rise that. I want us to say Peter Phillips win on one party now. Me move away from Uno. Me change my mind from Uno because I realize Uno are wicked. Uno no love PNP. Uno love Uno self. And everything Uno do is in interest of Uno self. And the PNP delegates must know that that is what Uno is. I want to skip right back over. Because I got some new information regarding Andre Orton. I have the name right now. Andre Orton in Montego Bay. Boy, I'm telling you. The more I hear these things, is the more I said to a resistance road team member today that, well, I don't know if I want to do this not much longer. Seriously, it's just too much. It's too much to take in. Too much to watch and to hear PNP people talk about. And the worst thing about it is that Uno way that do it never thought that PNP people paying attention. Can you imagine that? Uno never knows that PNP people are watching and I pay attention. Uno rope in the man to go be a delegate sent for me. Let me tell them, because the people in Montego Bay, up in Andre Orton, you know them say that one day in politics is like a lifetime. It's true. A lot of things can happen in one day. But can you imagine if you get 5 days? What a golden thing it is to have 5 days. So the night that Peter Phillips debated Andrew Holness and basically decimated Andrew Holness, Peter Phillips went on that stage and decimated and exposed Andrew Holness for the idiot and dunce that he is. Peter Phillips walk all over him and use the map and sweep the floor with him, and Peter Phillips just beat him up like the little fellow that he is. And Peter Phillips did that effortlessly. Peter Phillips never even dig deep. Peter Phillips never dig deep to handle up Andrew Holness that night. But that night, after Peter Phillips mash up Andrew Holness, mash him up completely, the next day, Dr. Andre Orton, the PNP candidate for whatever seat, I don't know which seat it is, saw a little light. Saw a little bit of light. Comrades are open to watching the ones at Montego Bay who enlighten me about these things. After Dr. Phillips mash up Holness, the next day, the entire PNP felt a little surge. A little surge that we're going to win. Boy, we can win. Peter, mash up Andrew. You know that thing when you come out, man, when your leader just mash up the next man leader. And the next man you wake up and you say, yo, we're going to take this. We're going to mash them up now because the leader set it up there. And Andre Orton felt a little bit buoyed by Peter's performance. The next morning, there was a kind of newness. There was morning. It's like morning in Mobile. You know, the sun came out and everything looked bright. And Orton saw an opportunity to go touch base with some middle class, kind of upper class voters out in his ends. He saw that opportunity. And he made one crucial mistake by not going himself. Or not carrying that crew of people with him. He made one crucial mistake. He shared that. He shared that with a group of people who were supposed to working to help him win. He shared that. Said, you know, Peter just set it up and we that know. And then people them get hype and everybody get hype. And then some other people catch wind of it and decide that they're going to sabotage it and put a spokes in it and go out there. No matter what Peter Phillips do. Yeah, he win the debate last night, but he can't win the election. He can't win the election. And Andre enough bother beat up himself and about spend up his money too tough. The people who work with him, you know. People are supposed to work with him, you know. And it leads me to wonder if when Peter Bunting tell Peter Phillips not to walk with the candidates, Peter Bunting advised Peter Phillips not to walk with the PNP candidates then. And I've been asking myself why. From the first time I heard it, I've been asking why. Why did Peter Bunting tell Peter Phillips that he shouldn't walk with the PNP candidates? And while he was telling Peter that Mark was touring, Mark tour West Rural, Mark down the South St. James, Mark the all over. Mark, you are evil, man. Believe you me. Mark, you are evil. Mark Jefferson Golden, you are an evil man. Fool of the PNP delegates and tell them that you're a good guy. You're not a good guy. You sabotage Peter Phillips and you sabotage the PNP. Mark, you're evil. I mean, some people are talking about, oh, me I call him Mark. When I forgot to them expel me, I can call him anything I want. I can call him Lucifer if I want. What's the matter with you know? Mark, you are Lucifer in the flesh. Wicked. Peter Bunting wanna run a two-step operation. Peter Bunting advised Peter Phillips not to walk with the candidates. Follow me in a comment. Peter Bunting advised Peter Phillips not to walk with the PNP candidates. Uno out there on the rise gears them and run pan the PNP ticket because you can't run pan the rise ticket. Uno run pan the PNP ticket in a rise shirt and rise message and dual message. Now the PNP election where Uno depend the ticket. Uno candidate for the PNP. And the man them put a spokes in an Andre Alton thing. May I tell you, I heard that Andre almost cried when him realized that he was sabotaged. But don't cry, young fella. Stay with the people them. Don't cry. Them the people are them there for long. I want you believe me on that, Andre Alton. Them there for long. We're going to run them out of PNP. We're going to expect. We're going to run them out of PNP. The man them sabotage Andre Alton. Sabotage Andre Alton. The man saw an opening the day after Peter Phillips demolished Andrew Holness. And quickly went and sabotaged it. And sabotage Crystal because she changed her mind from supporting Bunting to supporting Peter Phillips. Because the girl is wise and bright. And she went to good school and got good degree. Not like Angela with that full degree from a place that nobody ever heard of. Crystal bright. And Crystal have good degree. And proper education. And she's not only educated, she's bright. And Uno, Angela and Dayton and Mark and Bunting sideline those people. Yes, it's the whole of the labor right. Seriously, what other conclusion could I possibly come to but to say that all in the PNP leadership are labor right? What else could I come to? How could I come to that conclusion? On the sideline, the best and the brightest among us. Uno must be labor right. On the sideline, Crystal. On the sideline, Damian. On the sideline, Lisa. On the sideline, Raymond. On the sideline, Paulwell. On the Sabotage and sideline, Andre Alton. Uno must be labor right, man. Seriously. No, me not being feisty but I'm telling you, there's no other explanation for it. And it lines up with all the other narrative. Because if the leader of the PNP cannot confront the leader of the JLP, who is the Prime Minister, and the policies that he is expounding for the Jamaican people, and things that are of concern to PNP people. If the leader of the PNP can't sit down with the JLP leader, can't go up on a platform and say, yo, you see this what you do? This to serve the interest of Jamaica. If him can't do that, come on, people. What is there to conclude that the leader of the PNP must be a Labourite? And a Labourite don't mean you have to be a member of the JLP, you know. A Labourite don't mean you have to join the JLP. A Labourite don't mean you have to wear a green shirt or drink Heineken. Being a Labourite can mean all kinds of things. There's all kinds of ways to determine that somebody's a Labourite. Because if you are anti-socialism and anti what poor people is and what poor people need, then you must be a damn Labourite. There's nothing else to conclude about it. You sabotage a PNP candidate. Let me repeat this sooner. The man them sabotage a PNP candidate them upon the PNP's candidate roster, of which they are a part. Bunting was representing the PNP in central Manchester. Dayton was representing the PNP in northwest St. Anne. Luther Buchanan was representing the PNP in a PJ seat in eastern Westmoreland. Ian Ayers was representing the PNP in a Ben Clear seat. The whole of them did not represent PNP and sabotaging the PNP candidate and think say people who know and think say when we get away with it, we're not going to get away with it. Mark my words. Remember, I told you so. We're not going to get away with it. I want to do one final thing. One final thing. Maxine Henry Wilson is the only female, still remains the only female General Secretary the PNP have had. I like Maxine. I respect Maxine. Maxine gave me a lot of opportunities. Maxine was the kind of General Secretary that when I travel abroad for the YO, she give us money to go, and normally Socialist International and the other organizations that we go to these meetings, they normally give you back your money. Give you back your plane ticket, give you back your spending money, and give you more money. Maxine never asked me back for them money there yet, neither did Peter Phillips. But Maxine especially. So I like Maxine Henry Wilson. Maxine Henry Wilson door was always open for the YO. Always open for the YO. When PJ, YO was getting a lot of flack from some constituencies who never want us to open, start in a YO unit in them constituency. People like Violet Nielsen, the whole man to go be MP them. Francis Toller, the one them don't want us to start in a YO group down there. Maxine and PJ tell them in no uncertain terms, say, the YO will be coming down to start YO groups down there. So I like Maxine. So I want to tell you that it gives me no great pleasure, none at all, to say what I'm about to say. I'm a mother in more ways than one. I raise a whole heap of picnic. Doctors, teachers, statisticians, them just enough. But personally, I only have one child, one daughter. And as a mother, at first when I thought I was going to bring up this subject, I was going to really go hard against this young lady by the name of Sarah Nikisha Wilson. I was really going to go hard against her because of some things that some people tell me. People are telling a lie upon her. But I thought about it some more. And I thought that she's a young woman and she's Maxine Henry Wilson's daughter. So therefore, I am going to take a stance like that I would take with one of my girls. Here, any one of them. And I know that some parents live in some kind of bubble. Sometimes them don't know what their children are doing. And sometimes them hear, but because them don't know what to do, them don't deal with it. I'm not one of them. Me done and I'm throat for everything. Me as me hear something, I fly down. I wake up, I stay up all hours a night. Just to make sure so nobody not squeegee that me not get to say what me need to say about what me hear. Or what I might pick up. Keep them on them toes. Boys and girls. Anyone them can tell you, them that grow in this house can tell you. That is how it go with me. If me go road or me pick up something or me hear something or me see a note. Because I me tied up the room them. So me go in them and me go in the draw them. See all kind of things, huh? When my daughter in high school and them a smoke. Shelly now wash the uniform and she says cigarette thing in the uniform thing. Nobody said nothing. I stay up the whole night. I stay up the whole night. Till they come from wherever it is that them went to talk about that. So that's how I am. So some parents don't know, some people know and don't know to deal with it. So I'm going to give Maxine, and I'm going to cut Maxine Henry Wilson some slack, and I'm going to deal with this as a mother. Say Keisha Wilson has built a reputation for herself. People calling her names. People call her whore, PNP mattress. People say every PNP man, every MP sleep with her. I'm going to repeat the things that people say. But I'm not going to be harsh. I'm not going to be harsh. But these are things that people say. So she has built a reputation that no young woman should have. And I'm going to tell you why I'm going to bring it up. When I finish, I'll tell you why I bring it up. This young lady has been hanging out with Angela Brownberg for a couple of years now. And if somebody should send her this live or tell her this, I would tell her that Angela Brownberg have absolutely no interest in what kind of person you are, say Keisha Wilson. Angela Brownberg don't care. She will not counsel you. She will not advise you in anything in terms of how to behave as a young lady. Angela Brownberg will not be there for you to advise you on how to act and how to behave and how to change this thing, this narrative that people have about you as a young woman. Angela Brownberg is the last person on earth who will guide you on that. She don't care. She only care about what you can do for her and how she can use you to achieve what she wants to achieve. That's all Angela cares about. So she will not. Because if she did, the years that you've been hanging out with her, you would have been a better person, say. A much better person. And people wouldn't have said these things about you. And then you wouldn't have their road. I said the things that you say about other people. Well, you know, say nothing about me. I don't hear that you say nothing about me. Not that it would matter. But look at Dr. Peter Phillips. You, say, are the one who tell us all that Dr. Phillips is your godfather. And believe you me, that's one of the reasons why I decided not to really tear at you tonight, but to do it a different way. Because my daughter's godfather is none other than the same friend of 40 years who betrayed me. So this godfather thing and betrayal seems to be becoming a thing. You, say Dr. Phillips is your godfather. You call him Uncle Peter. And I would beg you, when you say Uncle Peter, you clarify that as Uncle Peter Phillips. Because everybody that called Peter Bunting Uncle Peter end up being pregnant. Every woman that called him Uncle Peter end up being pregnant. I'm not saying... You, say, call Peter Phillips Uncle Peter. So I don't understand that you switch. And it's not switch. Because I've never considered your support to Bunting. Everybody in a Bunting campaign at 29 can tell you, if they tell the truth. Everybody, Maureen Weber, Angela Brownberg, all of them. I told them, I found it disgusting. It's a betrayal. When you joined Bunting campaign 29 and left Peter Phillips, I was a part of Bunting campaign and I thought it was a betrayal. It was disgusting. And you should be hung up in the town square and flagged. That was my feeling about it. I was never welcoming to you. You must have noticed that. I thought it was disgusting and insipid and distasteful that you could be calling Dr. Phillips your godfather and Uncle Peter and then betray him for a scum like Peter Bunting. Never know must come them time, but must come. And you betray Dr. Phillips. But even with that betrayal, say, you could have walked away and changed your mind to a grown woman and go support Bunting. But my God in heaven, man. My God in heaven. Why are you saying those things about Dr. Phillips? Why are you doing that, little girl? You need to change your ways. Take a new direction. Let people see you in a different light. And Angela Bromberg will not help you with that. Don't do that to Dr. Phillips. You say use him Godfather. And during the election, you were out there. Boy, I'm telling you, honestly, Dr. Phillips is my godfather. You know that, right? He's my godfather. Love him dearly. You know, he has been good to me. But Dr. Phillips will never be prime minister. Dr. Phillips not going to win anything. And he has to just accept that he will never. What's wrong with you, young lady? Seriously. What's wrong with you? The decent thing that you should have done is simply go join them Peter man there and stay with Angela Bromberg and them. You never have to say nothing. Not a thing you never have to say. But to stand up and tell a group of people that Dr. Phillips is my godfather, you know, yeah, he's my godfather. I love him dearly. But honestly, I must tell you, Dr. Phillips will never be prime minister. Never, ever, ever, ever. He needs to accept it and he needs to just go home and leave it in. Jesus Christ, little girl. I came here tonight to really get into you, know. Believe you me, I did. But I thought about it some more. And I remember that Maxine was good to me. And I have my daughter. And I grew a lot of girls. And I thought, let me talk to you. Stop calling Peter Phillips' name. Stop it. But change your life. Change your lifestyle. It's not too late. It's not too late at all. Because all on have this penchant over there. So if you walk around and tell people, say, we not going to win. And we will never win. And we not going to win. If you don't know that burn me, I can't know it burn me, you know. You don't have no idea how it burn me. That all around the walk up and talk about we not win. After me I tell people, say, them forgot to vote because PNP are going to win. I mean, no matter who the leader is election call, me I going to vote for PNP. Yes, Marky G. If election call tomorrow, me I going to vote for PNP. And you walk around and tell PNP people, say, they're enough about that. My youth, everybody on the list say PNP. Them always go for vote. You don't need for much. Where you drink? And Lawrence Rowe. I didn't vote for Imani. I voted. But I didn't vote for Imani. But I voted. Damn bad color looking boy. I talk about him never vote for Imani, but him voted. Him voted, but he never vote for Imani. And Mark promoted him. Mark promoted him. And Dayton Campbell have people of West Rural. I tell them, say, this is a girl for go. Them girl for go, man. Just like how Luther, I talk about them not sure Arton. Why would I show him all away? Show him with way. Would I show him with way? I'm not going to pay a price, you see. I can't even begin to tell you what a price you're not going to pay. And comrades, I'm going to lock this off now, but next week is the final of these lives. Don't think I want to do no more of them. It's the final of the lives next week. I'm going to talk about the whole Lisa Hanna Saga. Oh yeah. Come with the popcorn. Bring your rum, bring your wine. And we're going to talk about that. And we're going to delve into it. And we're going to go deep into it. The PNP is the only party in Jamaica. The only party in Jamaica that have stood up for poor people. The People's National Party is the only party in Jamaica that has been good to Jamaica and good for Jamaica. And you know out there, I tell PNP people that we can't win and enough a vote. I don't want people to come unite with you. I don't want we to stop posts and stop live and stop God we go talk to PNP. Well, no go. Well, I don't know go. Mark Golden and Peter Bunting and Angela Bromberg. Go away. Because we not stop resisting, you know, until we get rid of you know. And God don't like ugly. And God told me already that on the days numbered. On the days really, really numbered. So next week, we're going to finish off the lives. And we're going to talk about the Lisa Hanna Saga. Boy, that is going to be a lot. So as I say, get a popcorn and a wine. White wine, red wine. I don't know. Someone probably get some rice and peas. And join us for that. So, thank you all for joining me. I truly enjoy talking to you. I do. There's just too much to say. Too much to say. And it hurts. Most of it hurts. Believe me, it does. It hurts like hell to think that we could have been in government and the man them sabotage our efforts to win the election. The Labour right. I have no doubt about in my mind that they're Labour right. Thank you for joining me. Good night all. God bless you. God bless your family. And keep your children safe. Thank you.